Will people be able to hear them while the intro is on? Oh, Keisha, they're gonna be able to hear you, Keisha. Listen on. Yeah, Keisha, I tell you. When I won't mess you up, huh? Oh, cause I don't see nobody. You see people. Well, you know what I mean. That I see people. I see people. Oh, my bad. My bad. You see people? Bring it here. Let me see. Let me say hi. I was on the church. I was supposed to go to my own. Oh, okay. Oh, let me see. Oh, hey, bro George. Hey, Iris Williams. Hey, Lisa Brown. I see y'all now. There we go. I see y'all. Oh, Iris, I did something. Oh. Hey, Diamond. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Ariel. Good to see y'all. Hey, Talaire. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be a little delay. Hey, Sister Vinans. Thank y'all so much. Hey, Elder McCray, awesome job on Sunday. Awesome, awesome. Thank y'all for coming on. Thank y'all for joining us on this Wednesday evening. Miss LaWanda, Miss Renee, Ursula, good to see you. Deacon Willie Price, good to see you, sir. Eric Brown. Hey, Lakeisha Womack Robinson. Hey, Nikki Davis. Hey, Alexis Williams. Thank you, Pooh. Thank y'all for inviting people. We thank y'all. We appreciate y'all so much. Hey, Miss Jackson. Mr. Calvin McCoy. What's up, Deacon Duck? I'm sorry, Deacon Browder. There you go, Tasha. Glad to have you back. Hey, Marla Jean. Quinn, can I get about another 4 minutes? Because my numbers are going up now. Yeah, hey, Sarah Harrell. Hey, Lanika Brown. Hey, Miss Erica Smith Walker. Hey, y'all, go ahead and invite people. Thank y'all so much. Hey, Miss Lakeisha. Thank y'all so much for coming on. Miss Catherine. Crystal Johnson. Awesome, awesome. There you go, Marla Jean. Minister James Wathy Gibbs. Why is Alexis inviting Lanika and Lanika on here already? Hey, Miss Siobhan. Miss Michelle Jones. Thank y'all so much. Miss Willoughby. Hey, Mama Judy. Lord. Thank y'all so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Hey, Elder Griswold, good to see you. Miss Rita Walls, good evening. Hey, Munlaw, Brother George. There y'all go. Thank y'all for inviting people. Thank you so much. Hey, Miss Dana. Y'all are so awesome. I just love the members of Beacon Light. Hey, Tracy. I just love y'all so much. Hey, Miss Janet. What's up, Esco? Good to see you, sir. Miss Sherelle. What's up, Steve Tillery? Hey, Miss Chester, good to see you. Good evening, good evening. Thank y'all so much. Hey, Mel. Mel say I'm here, like she in school. Hey, Miss Love, how you doing? Thank you for coming on. Elder Chad Williams. Good evening, family. Miss Zachary. Way to go, Sister Vinings, inviting people. I love it. I love it. Hey, Miss Diane Trask. Hey, Miss Taloria Lewis. Marla inviting her daughter Tamari. That's too funny. I love it. There y'all go. I love to see y'all inviting people. Awesome, good deal. All righty, we're gonna be starting in about 30 seconds. Amen. Miss Patrice Martin. I hope y'all been understanding when we say I got it. I've been getting testimony after testimony after testimony. I shared with Lady Iris today that I got it is contagious. It's catching on. So I appreciate all of y'all so much. Amen. Well, welcome to Wednesday night in the Word. We just appreciate all of you being with us on tonight. Tonight, I hope and pray that you have been blessed and encouraged thus far today. Hope many of you have had an awesome day thus far. I appreciate all of you being with us. I really don't take this lightly. I appreciate all of the members and all of the friends of Beacon Light. Thank you so much for being with us on this Wednesday evening. Well, we have something very, very exciting tonight. Many of us know that just a few weeks ago, our young people went back to school, our college students, high school, elementary, learning centers, all of them are back in school. So we wanted to do something special tonight that involves parents, teachers, the students, because many of us, it still takes a village to raise a child. So on tonight, I'm the co-host tonight. I am the co-host, but our host tonight is Minister Eric Brown. I want him to introduce himself as our host tonight. Minister Eric Brown, we're in your hands.
Good evening, Beacon Light family. Thank you for joining Facebook Live as we get ready to discuss closing the gap between home and education. I'm going to allow my panel to introduce themselves. We'll start with the young lady to the left.
Hi, Beacon Light family. I'm Mia Thomas, and I'm here as a parent and also a teen mom.
Amen.
I was once a teen mom.
Hi, Beacon Light family. I'm Dakisha Smith. I'm here as an educator as well as a parent.
Hi, Beacon Light family. I'm here as a parent.
Hi, Beacon Light family. I'm here as a coach and educator.
Amen. And a parent.
And a parent.
And a parent.
Yes.
Amen. So listen, Minister Eric Brown is going to take us even further, but I want many of us to know that this has to do with all of us, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, all of those who have a young person in your life. This has to do with all of us, even with us who have adult children. This still is going to impact their lives. So I'm asking all of us to stay on. If you know somebody, bring your kids into the room tonight that they may listen to Facebook Live, to Bible study tonight, because it's going to be a blessing. I believe you're going to hear something that can really change the way you're doing things, the way you see things, and also eventually it changed the end result of what we're doing. So I'm going to ask Minister Eric Brown if he would take over for us tonight.
All right, good evening again. First, before we get started, when I think of education and home, I think of it as co-parenting. Your teachers and your parents, they have to co-parent together in order to be one, in order to have a successful child. So we're going to dive right in with the first question, and I'm going to direct it to my educators. What are some ways that your parents can access the lessons from home or to help better teach their children?
Well, I guess I'll go first. There are several ways in which you can access what your students are doing, one of which are Remind, Class Dojo. Some teachers send out weekly emails or newsletters for the younger kids, say maybe K through 3, sometimes K through 5. You get a weekly letter in their folders, so just, kind of be vigilant and check those folders, as well as make sure you have an access to all of the school's broadcasting systems.
Well, let me say this, Coach, before you jump in as a teacher. I want to read something that I looked up today, and it talks about research. And I want to say to all of those who are watching, all of those who are listening, this is what the research says. Parents' involvement in education is critical. No matter their income or background, students with involved parents are more likely to have higher grades, test scores, attend school regularly, have better social skills, show improved behavior, and adapt well to school. That's why I think this conversation is so very, very important, not just for the parent, but for our students, because the truth is, that's what it's all about. It's about the children. It's about the young people. So I want to make sure that we understood why we was having this panel discussion tonight, because we want to make sure grandparents, aunts, uncles, coaches, all of us are involved in our children's education. So, Coach, I'm sorry, you can answer that question now.
It's okay. Along with, whatever system your school is using to have communication, proper communication. Also, most educators do not mind having personal communication, text messages, phone calls, at decent hours, of course, because we have families too. But just a personal touch from teacher to parent, to have a relationship with that parent or with that teacher, to know that you are very involved in communicating about your child's education.
Thank you, thank you. Now we're going to ask the parents. Everyone up here is a parent. So we're going to see, how often do you discuss your academic expectations with the kids?
So in my household with my son, it's every day. It's every day when he wakes up in the morning. I'm starting off, hey, well, today better be a good day. What are we gonna do different today than we did yesterday? When he gets home from school, how was school today? Okay, what did you guys learn? So actually just reinforcing that every day and just kind of figuring out what was done differently yesterday versus today.
And I guess for me, I mean, I'm a parent too. And so even I have the experience of being a parent and being involved. And just what the research says, people, I mean, I can't help but talk about my kids because me and Iris raised them. Our son graduated valedictorian of his class. Our other son, he was in the top 10 of his graduating class. And I really believe that came because there was involvement. We made sure, we reinforced what they did in school. We participated, we went to the school. And I think that's one of the biggest things that parents have to really understand. And I guess as educators too, does that make your job easier when the parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, everybody is involved in this child's life?
As for me, being a parent, I have a college student, and also I have a sophomore in high school. And just having those daily conversations, like she say in the morning on the way to drop him off, I'm saying have a good day, be intentional. When he gets home, I'm asking, what did you do today? What did you learn? Just having those conversations. Even my college student, when I talk to him every day, how was your day today? Being involved, letting them know that you care, and that you are present. And also, as Pastor was saying, being present. School activities, games, parent night, whatever's going on at the school, show up. Let the teachers know, hey, this is my child. I care. I want to be in the know, and I will be here. So that relationship between the parent and the teacher comes easier. The teacher won't be reluctant to reach out to you when something is not right or when they notice something.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what she said, I think it's really important for parents to be there too, because kids can see if it's important to the parent, it's important to me, and they won't slack in class. And then another thing, like as far as teachers, the teachers have 20, 30 students to teach. So when you at home as a parent, the kids get home and you take the time out to do assignments with them, whatever the case may be, homework or whatever the case may be, it's better on their education. Because like I said, it might be something in the class that the teacher can't get to that you can do at home. Teacher got 8, 9 hours to deal with your child. You can do it before you go to bed at night, and it'll help them more to learn. And by you being present, like you said, present with their homework, academics, with sports, anything, make them want to do it more because you're more involved in it.
On the expectation part, I find that a lot of times parents don't set expectations. So if you set expectations, then usually your kids will rise to that point. So as a parent, I set expectations for my kids and set goals each and every day. Then that way you can reach those goals and those expectations as you go through your education process. So as we set expectations, and different kids are different, so every kid is not going to have the same. But also make sure that you have expectations for your kids as far as academically, as far as discipline. And if you set those expectations, then they'll rise to those expectations.
And I think also, I'm just so engulfed with this parenting being involved that it even says that your child has more of a positive attitude when the children are involved, when the parent is involved in the child's education, whether it's at home, whether it was at school. And I'm gonna let my host finish taking over. But we was talking before we went live that sometimes I know for me, showing my sons, play basketball. So I didn't just show up for a basketball game, but I showed up for other things. And then two, other kids were more engaged as when a parent shows up. And I know I have boys, and they won't be cool, but they made it seem like they didn't really want me there. But you could tell they was excited that me and Iris was there. They would act like, and they wouldn't want to sit around us and stuff like that, but they was happy that we were there. And I believe all of our kids would be happy when we're at school and we show up and we participate in their education.
So the takeaway from this is be present, parents, and set expectation for your kids. Make sure you go over them daily with your kids. All right, the next question is for my educators. Are there options for makeup work, or do we offer bonuses?
Wow.
I'll go first.
Come say he gonna go first.
I teach high school math, so there's always an option to makeup work and assignments on a daily basis. I'm a board teacher, so I teach at the board a lot. So, and there's always opportunities within the lesson to gain bonus points, not necessarily from that lesson, but as you build in math, it may be a lesson from 2 lessons ago. If you can recall a definition or a way to work a problem that, for instance, if, you can understand that the points on the line are, collinear. If you give that back to me when we're going over it, then, you could create bonus points that way. So,
What's that word you said? No.
collinear.
Math teachers.
So I too am a math teacher, right? I'm more of middle school, and currently I work with elementary school. And as Coach was saying, there are multiple opportunities within the studies to gain bonus work or extra credit opportunities, as far as giving an extra question on a test or participating in class, always being the one to do the homework. But there is a downside to that, far as bonus work for students that don't complete work or don't ever turn anything in or not participating. Then as educators, we're more reluctant, I would say, to offer bonus opportunities. For me, I used to always tell my students, how am I gonna give you bonus work if you're not doing the regular work I give you?
Right.
I just want you to do the work that I give you. But as a teacher, as a parent, as a caring teacher, I've never turned down a student if a student came to me and said, Ms. Smith, can I make up my work? Or I would always give them an opportunity to do the work and earn majority of the points. I wouldn't penalize them for not wanting to, for not doing the work.
Well, Mr. Host, can I ask a question? Because this is getting good now. Because in my parenting days, my parenting, like both of y'all are math teachers. Some of this math that my kids was learning, I had no clue on what these kids was doing. So now the question to the teachers, to the educators, Minister Brown, you jump in too. How do parents help their kids when I don't know it? How do parents? Because I think parents are intimidated by it because I really don't know. Like, it's like the kid who got kept back, and the uncle said, they said, why ain't uncle crying? Uncle said, because I did his homework for him. So it was the uncle that didn't know the schoolwork. It wasn't the kid, it was the uncle. So how would y'all address parent that's intimidated by the schoolwork?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I'm now on the other side of that. I work for Eureka Math, the curriculum writer itself. And there are things embedded within our curriculum for parents. We have a family tip sheet. We have links to that family tip sheet. It explains what's being done in class. It provides examples. Also, there are multiple videos that are on YouTube, and some are embedded within the curriculum that the students have access to, that the student and the parent can watch together, because the learning is different. Because I would say, as parents, we learned procedural math. Everything was standard algorithm for us. Multiplication and division. We didn't know why we were doing it that way. It was because they told us that the insurance man brought the timetable card. We learned our facts, and that was there, right? So now math has moved more to conceptual understanding. It's why. Why are we doing it this way? So in learning why they're doing it that way, they are able to now carry the learning throughout grade levels. They're just not remembering tricks and procedures.
Gotcha.
But there are things within to help the parents. Videos are everywhere. If you Google it, it's there.
Right. But let me ask you this: but even with videos, but how do I still? Because some parents can look at a video and still don't get it. But here's my point. But I still want to encourage parents to have that conversation about the schoolwork. I think sometimes parents are so intimidated because of the schoolwork, they freeze and don't even ask questions about it. Because I'm scared my child is going to ask me a question and I don't know the answer. But should I still ask my children about schoolwork? Hey, let me see your homework. What did y'all do today? Should I still ask as a parent?
I think so. And I'm kind of a strange person. So this is just how I feel. You know, I think that I'm always the smartest person in the room. Not because I know everything, but because I know how to find it.
That's right.
You know, so it's not that I know everything. It's not that I'm going to tell my kids I know everything. Even in teaching, I don't know everything. But I can tell you how to find it. And as a parent, you can't be afraid in life to fail or not to know something in front of your kids. But it's always an opportunity for you and your kid to learn if you're willing to go out and find the answer. You know, and I think that's the biggest encouragement that I try and use, is that, okay, it's not that I know everything, it's not that you know everything, but there are accesses and means out there to find out whatever you need to know. So.
And I'll say this to Minister Brown can ask his next question, but I want to also encourage parents, and I understand we have to work. And sometimes parents work long hours. Sometimes parents work shift work and different things. I get that. But I want parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles to know that this is an investment. And when you invest in your children, especially while they're young, when you invest, you're going to see a return on your investment. But if you don't spend no time, if you don't invest in them, you're not going to see the return that you're expecting. And I think that's what my goal tonight is, that parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and big sisters and big brothers to help the younger ones, because this is time to invest in them so that you can see the return in years to come. Yes, ma'am.
And just to kind of piggyback off of the investment, I ran into that issue last year with my son because I don't like Eureka. It's hard. And I called the teacher and I stated, ma'am, I have a master's degree. I don't know. And you have to find those resources. Those resources are is out there. So when I got to the point of watching the videos, getting on IXL, trying to figure out how to do it myself, I was getting the answer, but I didn't know how to explain it to him. So with saying that, I had to invest. I had to pay a tutor.
Come on now.
And it took I couldn't get my nails done, but so I had to sacrifice in order to invest in my child. He was 2 points away from mastery on the Ivy.
Come on.
So I did my part.
And I love the investment part because, the investment part is not just, but you sacrifice. See, because your education is so important to me, I'll sacrifice a pair of Jordans to get a tutor. Because down the line, I'll be able to get you some Jordans. Right now, I got to invest in your education. So that means if I got to get a tutor so you can't get no Christmas Jordans, well, that's just the way it's going to be, because this education is way more important than a pair of Jordans.
All right, just to add on to that, I thought about a poster I have in my class, and it says, I'm citing it, in 30 years from now, the shoes you wear, it won't matter. In 30 years from now, the shirt, it won't matter. You're going to outgrow those things, but it's about what's in your head, the knowledge that you get. So investing in that it's going to pay off in the end. All right, also, I had another one. Since we all math teachers, mistakes allow thinking to happen. She's not a math teacher. Introduce yourself, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Jaleesa Norwood. I am all things ELA in reading and writing.
Okay. All right, now there you go. That's somebody I can talk to. All right. The math teachers. Woo.
Next question. This is for the parents. We're all parents. How often do you discuss the importance of putting forth effort into their learning new material? So she kind of answered already, but you got anything you want to add? How often do you discuss the importance of putting forth effort into your new learning?
Right, so, and like I stated earlier, it's a daily thing for me, more so because education in my family is very important. So every day I'm trying to figure out a new way to to encourage him to learn, because I mean, like most of us, we don't like reading, we might not like doing math. So I'm trying to figure out what can I do to make you want to do better.
I think, just like she said, being able to do it every day. I work a lot. I work in the plant. My wife does most of it. But the same energy you put in at work, you're tired when you get home. Like Pastor said before, you got to use that same energy when you get home, because if you don't be there with them to do the work and stuff like that, they'll slack off. And by you going to work, being tired every day, and you get home, you're getting rewarded at work with a paycheck to take care of your family. If you put that same energy in your kids, make them study, do all that, you'll be proud at graduation. So I think even though you work a lot and stuff like that, I'm guilty of it. I probably do it 3-4 times a week with my kids, but my oldest, they text me and stuff like that, and we talk about it. Kingston, you know, it's every day, but my wife, she don't work nights or anything, so she's with him more than me. But I have to do a better job at not putting my work in my family home, and as far as education-wise, do the same energy you do for the job, because if you don't put the energy in your job, you can't get paid. So if you don't put the energy in your kids, you don't get the reward at graduation. So,
and I think that's one of the biggest things we're saying, you know, to encourage these parents, is that the reward, but as we were saying earlier, it's about being consistent. As a parent, I want to be consistent every year. And here's the good part. When you put things in them while they're young, they create habits. They create habits of doing homework. So now when your child gets to high school, it's just embedded in them, because mama instilled this in me. My daddy instilled this in me. And that's the biggest part for me, is that I'm more than sure all of us in here had somebody who was consistent in our lives to make sure that we were doing what we were supposed to be doing. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. My sister, this girl was smart. The girl, time management. I was different. My mama had to be on, because when I was young, I had a book bag, but I ain't have no books in it. My homework was folded up into my pocket. Oh, Lord. My mama, but she stayed on me. And then eventually, it made me, because she was on me, eventually I got it. And that's all I'm trying to tell parents. I know sometimes we struggle with our kids sometimes. But all of my whole suggestion is just be consistent with them when it comes to schoolwork and being involved, being consistent. Mr. Brown, I'm sorry. I'm going to sit here and chill.
Let me say this too.
Oh, yeah, well, say it.
But like Pastor said, being consistent, but also remembering that children are sponges. Mm-hmm. Everything is a learned behavior, so they're watching us. So if they see us going to work, because mine do some stuff, and I have to tell him, hey, you see mama waking up in the morning going to work, you see mama doing this and doing that, mama need that same thing from you at school. So definitely, like, watch what you do in front of them, because they paying attention all the time.
That's good. Very good. Very good.
To add on to that also, we talked about setting expectations, but also having a reward system for them, rewards and consequences, because if you don't do it, there's a consequence as well. So setting those expectations, but setting those rewards and consequences as well. Next question. How often do you inquire about your child's academic performance prior to progress and report cards? So not just waiting on the progress and report card, how do you inquire about your child's progress?
Would you like for me to speak from a parent perspective
Oh, yeah,
or
well,
a teacher perspective?
As a parent.
Okay. As a parent, I over-communicate with my children's teachers. I over-communicate because I don't ever want there to be a time when we have to have certain conversations and I'm not ready for those conversations. I feel any struggle that my child has is a struggle that I have. If I can't give it to them at home and they can't get it at class, I need to have an outlet or someone that can help them. I think the biggest thing that a lot of parents fail to realize is we have to be vulnerable. And so if we truly don't understand something, or if there is an expectation that's been set and we don't feel that our children can reach it, we need to be able to communicate that. So being just over communicating things, I think about, even as a teacher, how many times do I have to reach out to parents to tell them things about their child's academics? At some point, we have to hold ourselves responsible for what happens inside of the classroom. They're our babies for 8 hours of the day, and we're going to love on them and we're going to pour into them. But the pouring doesn't stop when they leave the classroom. It has to continue at home.
And I'll say this, and and we're talking about progress reports, the conversation being consistent. And I researched this. When you look at the Jewish community, because when you look at, of course, when you read the Bible, it goes back to the Jewish community. But when Jewish communities, the kids go to this school, they live in this community, and they go to this synagogue. The one thing about the Jewish community, they're consistent. What they hear at home is what they hear at the synagogue. What they hear in the synagogue is what they hear at school. So those kids are hearing the same thing over and over and over again. That's where parent involvement and teachers, our community, if our kids can hear something consistent at school, at home, and at church, those 3 areas, it's going to impact their lives in a great way. Because what's confusing is sometimes, and I as a parent, and I've seen stuff, that the parent is saying negative things about the teacher, saying negative things about this and that. So the child is confused when the child goes to school and the teacher is saying, I care about you. Well, my mama's saying, no, you don't, or you don't like me. That's where we all have to, this is what we talk about having a village. And that's where I'm talking about being consistent. So to say that, Minister, is that Iris and we already knew what your progress report should look like. Because, did you turn the homework in? What did you make on the test? I'm not shocked if you have a C or a D and I know you haven't been doing the work. Some of as parents, we're like shocked when we see the progress report. No. You don't be shocked because we haven't been keeping up with what they're supposed to be doing. I'm sorry, y'all go ahead, please.
Right, I was going to add to that. As a parent, I'm a stalker of Power School.
Yeah.
Like, I get notifications anytime the teacher put an assignment in.
Yeah.
My phone go off. My son be at school. I'm taking screenshots and sending it to him while he in class.
Yes.
I'm like, say, Jay, you didn't turn this in. Why the teacher say it's late?
Right.
Why it's missing? You were absent Friday. Why you ain't turning it in Monday? So be in tune with your kids.
Yeah.
Get the login to Power School or whatever grading system and watch it. Stalk it. From a teacher perspective, in a normal school year, I would have anywhere from 110 to 150 kids a year. Red flags wouldn't go off for me for a student unless they drop to a D. My son is not a D student.
Right.
So as a parent, when his grade dropped from a B to a C,
I'm calling.
Houston, there's a problem.
There you go. I like it.
Me and him about to have a conversation. He already know before he get home, I done sent the teacher email, so she already know, and I already got an explanation of what's going on. But then for a teacher, the parent will say, oh, well, your teacher didn't tell me, now it's December or it's May and you already failed. That's not the teacher responsibility, parents. That's on you. You have to be consistent. You have to help us. As Minister Brown said earlier, we are co-parents in this thing.
Right.
The teachers and the parents, we are co-parenting. You know your child. You know your child's an AB student. That grade drop, you see what's missing? Have that conversation. Shoot your teacher email. It may be the teacher's fault. She may have put something in wrong. Don't wait until the school year is over.
Yeah.
Be consistent. Don't say, well, I didn't get the login. School started, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
You don't have a login by now? Call the school in the morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Shoot the teacher email and ask for that Power School login
Yeah,
or
I
whatever
love
the grading system is. Be consistent, and once your child know you stalking it,
There you go.
oh, they're going to turn it in.
I like that.
Because they don't want that
I like
email.
that, stalking them.
They don't want you, Jordan, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to send a screenshot. It's up when you get home. Because why? This is not what I sent you to school for.
Right.
But if they know you know this, they're going to be on top of it as students.
And I think too, like our listeners, those who are viewing and watching, I'm here as a parent because I think sometimes like you're a teacher, so and a parent. Like coach is a teacher and a parent. You're a teacher and a parent. But I'm just saying it from us as parents. I didn't have to be an educator to make sure I remember when my kids were young, and I remember the teacher called and said that Jalen didn't turn in some schoolwork. So I asked him when he got home, I said, where's that? And he went and got his book sack, and he acted like he was looking for it. I took the book sack and dumped everything out. Now find it for me. No, find it for me. Now I can't say what happened after that because he didn't find it. But it wasn't no reward. Just put it that way. Yeah, it wasn't no reward. And I'm not an educator. I'm just a parent.
Just to piggyback off what Pastor said, before I was an educator, I was a parent. And my daughter is now a senior, but I think me being present, being consistent, letting her know that I care about her education, I don't have to do anything. Starting 7th grade year, I haven't sent an email to a teacher since her 7th grade year. She sends emails. She stalks her grades. She does everything, but that is because I made sure that she knew early on, education will never leave you. It's going to carry you a long way, and as long as you soak it up and you in tune with it and you learn as much as you can, nobody can take that away from you. I can't take it. Can't nobody take it. And she takes full advantage of it. So I've been enjoying it. And parents, if you hold your children to an expectation and you set it early on, they will do it. They'll do it.
Accountability is huge. Hold your kids accountable. Once they get a certain age, they should be able to have those conversations with the teacher before you have to email. Because that's the first thing I ask. Did you talk to your teacher? Well, what did your teacher say?
Right.
Now, if you can't handle it inside the school, then when you bring it home, then I'll elevate from there. But at a certain age, you have to hold them to a certain level of responsibility to be able to have those conversations and be accountable for their own grades. So everything is not on you, parents. Some of it is on the students, too, on your kids.
There you go. Yep.
All right, yeah. To piggyback off of all of that, I think, like you said, the involvement too, because just think about it. If the kid knows they're gonna get in trouble, they're not gonna come home and just tell mom, okay, I didn't tell my work in, I'm failing because of this, that. So as a parent, like you said, going there and checking with the teachers and stuff like that, that's a big part. Because I know when I was in school, if I got something bad on my report card, I was gonna wait till the teacher called my mom and let her know. I wouldn't go just bring it home and tell her. So, but if you go there and before they even get to that point of having to bring it home, you can get to the teacher before the child have to bring it home to you, and you'll know what's going on. So the involvement with the expectation is real good.
But I also have a question. So for me, I start off at the beginning of the school year. Hey, teacher, I'm the active parent. So I try to get involved early on so that way they know call me if something's going wrong. But I know that y'all have a lot of other students in the class, so sometimes it kind of get lost in the sauce. But you said accountability. How, like, what age should we be saying, okay, hey, I'm holding you accountable? Because my son, he's 10, and even now I'm like, mama's not gonna always be there. So if you don't understand something, it's your responsibility to ask and say, hey, I don't understand this lesson, because you might not understand everything. So is 10 too early, or should I be, or I'm late?
10 is perfect. 10 is what, 5th grade?
That's too old.
Yeah, I would say before that, they start testing in third grade. By that time, they're old enough and they speak well enough to say what they understand and don't understand. They may need a little more support. It's a gradual release of accountability. Each year, the level of accountability that you hold them to will increase. But no, ma'am, 10 is not too early. By now, he knows what he understands and don't understand, and he should be able to say something.
I taught kindergarten for 8 years. I think at a kindergarten age, holding them accountable isn't too early. Minister Brown and Ms. Smith both can agree that my class ran like a all factor. If I wasn't there, they still knew what they were to do. So when you set those expectations and you know that they know that they're being held accountable, they'll exceed it. So I just think 5 and 6 year olds, if they can do it,
So do you
your
think
10-year-old can do it.
But do you think it's wrong to hold a kid accountable at 2? You know, because Coach Rick's son, he played basketball, and I think Coach Rich probably had the kid running suicides at 2 or 3. Is that too early, Coach?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's not.
And this is just what I believe, all right? If you're going to do something, do it the right way. Now, he wasn't running suicides at 2, but he could dribble both right-handed and left-handed at 2, because if you're going to do it, we're going to do it the right way. And that's I agree with her. So it's about, even in my high school class, there is a 5-step process to my class every day. And so when you come in, there's no question about what you should do when you come into class. It's not a question, because this is what you should do every day when you come into class. And if you hold them accountable, the earlier you hold them accountable, then the faster they will adjust to that process. So just, if you're going to do it, we're going to do it the right way. Yes.
And also holding them accountable will teach them life lessons in the long run. Yeah. So everything you do, there's a consequence behind it. So if I'm holding you accountable to these things and you don't meet them, or you're not close to them, or you're not grasping them, there's always a consequence when you don't do the right thing.
So let me ask this to parents and teachers. We talked about consequences. What about rewards? Do you think tennis shoes and certain games, and should those things be? Because sometimes the way some people are, well, you're supposed to do the schoolwork. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't have to buy you no tennis shoes and a new game and all of that stuff. So what do y'all think about the reward system, of how you think how should that look, a reward system? Parents, teachers, what y'all think?
I have a reward system. I have it as a parent, and I had it as a teacher. Okay. In my classroom, I had reward bucks. They answer questions or do certain things. They earn like the whatever bucks I called it for their school year. And on Fridays, they could buy stuff. Okay. You'd be surprised what kids do for a bag of hot chips. Like, they will answer all the questions if they thought they was going to get a bag of hot chips. Or if you had so many bucks, you got a kickback on a Friday. Kickback for me could have been popsicles, ice cream, or nachos.
A kickback, what's?
A kickback, when they get to come in your classroom at lunchtime, you play music and they get like a treat. We call it the kickback.
See, Miss Smith, you cool. Kickback.
You get invited.
Right,
you got a personal invitation on a
I didn't know
Thursday.
what that was.
They were looking for their invitation. I'll be at carpool on a Thursday passing out the invitation.
I love
you know you got your invitation. You came to Kickback Friday and get whatever that treat was. For us, my household, I have boys. Of course, they want tennis shoes. That's our reward system. I do tennis shoes. This summer, we went to the Bahamas. My college student, he's on the dean's list. Wow. My baby, he has all A's and 1 B. So they're both honor roll students. So my reward, my treat for them, we went on a nice vacation. They want to go out the country? Okay, that's what we're going to do. So, yes, I think it is a thing to have a reward system. It's a good thing. And it doesn't have to be like all exotic. It doesn't have to be a trip. Right. It could be something very simple that your kid likes. Extra time on the iPad, that's a reward. Yeah. Extra time on their phone, or you'll get 30 minutes of phone time this week. Because if you're anything like me, younger, they didn't get to use their phone during the week. So, okay, you do this, you get 30 minutes of phone time today, things like that. So it's small things that eventually turn into big things. But yes, a reward system is necessary.
Well, I have a 2-year-old, so we ain't worried about him going to Jamaica. Just give him some fruit snacks and he's good.
I love it.
But yeah, so also, I think I was talking to Courtney Pitts one Sunday, and we were talking about the potty training thing, and she said, implementing Skittles, like those small things the kids are big rewards to them. So making sure that we put something in place in front of them for them to see this is something tangible. If I do what I need to do, I can receive that reward.
There you go. I love it.
That's what I was gonna say as well. Putting in place where, okay, not getting frustrated. Number one, when you're teaching them and stuff, because if you get frustrated with them yelling and stuff, they're not gonna want to do it after.
Oh my God.
That's a big thing. It's like if your boss fuss at you, you're not gonna go do no work after he finished fussing at you.
So let's talk about that with parents when, because I see parents get frustrated because the child, the child's, he learning just addition, and he don't know 5 plus 5. Yeah, and he say 50, and then he say, no, what's 5 plus 5? 30. Now, I told you it's 10. It's 10. All right, so what's 5 plus 5? 20. I just told. So what do we do as parents when them kids act like they don't hear us understand it? Because the stress level goes up in the house, and it causes the child. All right, y'all help me out. Help me out.
It causes a child to shut down. I would say it's okay as a parent to step away. It's like, okay, we've been trying this. Let's take a break, and we'll revisit it in a few minutes. Right. But don't let it get to a point where your child thinks if they get it wrong, you're going to be angry. Right. Because like Pastor said, they will shut down, and that carries into school as well. Yeah. When they get to school, they're going to be afraid to say an answer in fear of saying the wrong answer, thinking the teacher's going to be mad at them. So as parents, it's okay to step away or ask somebody else to help them. I could never tutor my own kids. I can't help them in math.
Huh? You're a math teacher.
I'm a math teacher, but I was like that. Because as a teacher, the teacher in me wanted them, like, you should know this. Why you don't know this? So I had to get other people to help my child in math because it wasn't working.
So, Coach, what you think about when the parent get a little stressed?
I think it's about a balance.
Okay.
And, rewards, penalties. In my life, I just try to keep a balance. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes when kids are in stressful situations, they're in a stressful situation, so we don't need to be in the same stressful situation.
Right.
Gotcha. We need to provide a balance.
Gotcha.
So if they're in a struggle, it's kind of like if they're in a storm, they need us to be the peace.
That's good. That's good.
So
that's good.
If they're in the middle of this battle or the middle of this adverse situation, I don't need to make the situation worse by being an adversary.
Right.
I need to be an ally.
Right.
So it's about a balance. So again, like she said, step away.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to dinner.
Yeah. Parents, y'all heard that? Stop yelling, screaming, calling your child names. Please stop. He's not a dummy. She's not a dummy just because they don't know something. Because just as the educators say, it would translate into school. So now I'm afraid to even raise my hand in class. I don't even say nothing in class because I'm afraid to get it wrong. And if I do, somebody may say I'm a dummy or something. So y'all, we gotta, Minister Brown, I'm sorry.
Just to add on, sometimes myself, like if I get frustrated, I'll breathe, I'll take a second. And like the kids know, if I'm quiet, you be quiet too. We're gonna take a second and breathe, and then we're gonna come back. Because I have to remain professional.
Right. Right.
But also creating that safe space for those kids. Like, you never know. They don't know that. That's why they come to school, is to learn. So we want to create that safe space for them to make mistakes and learn through and work through those mistakes. One more question. We see time winding up. I'll ask this question for the parents. I guess we all can answer. What do you want them to get out of school? Like, what is the purpose and drive for you sending your child to school?
Oh, I could. Y'all want me to start off? Yeah. I mean, one of the goals, I guess, it's a balance. It's so much that goes into it. One of the biggest things is social skills, because now our kids are on iPads, phones. Sometimes kids don't even know how to walk into a room and say good morning. They don't know how to say good evening. I think I want my children, and it's so much that needs to take place at home first that translate at school, because I still want teachers to hold my children accountable at school. First of all, education. You have to, nowadays, you have to know something in order to make it in life, because the ultimate goal is I want you to make money. I want you, and you have to know something. So the biggest thing is the education, social skills, discipline, accountability. There are so many things that go wrapped up into your education that I want my children to get. And I think that's one of the biggest things. It's the social skills, the education, and the knowledge.
And I'm going to jump in from the coach's perspective
Yes,
right here. I will encourage parents to get your kids involved in extracurricular activities.
Yes.
Not necessarily just sports, but
Yes.
band, art,
Yes.
music,
Yes.
whatever. Because what that does, it allows another person to hold them accountable.
Yes.
Okay, coaches, teacher sponsors, band directors. They will also help you hold your kids accountable. And then those life skills that Pastor is talking about is something that they will also be able to achieve, learning how to work with others.
Yeah, teamwork.
Learning
Yeah,
how
Coach.
to be dependable,
Yeah.
to depended on. So get them involved in all activities. It could be boys and girls club, but just extracurricular activities to also help allow someone else to hold them accountable and give them goals and objectives. And I think that helps to well round the whole child. They don't have to be a superstar, All-American, or the greatest, but just the opportunity just to be involved with a group of people outside of the classroom, I think is very important.
I think one of the biggest things for me that I want my children to take away with education is work-life balance. Work-life balance. So although they're still in school, I tell them their job is to go to school. Your job is to go to school and maintain your grades, and the reward will come at the end. It'll pay off in the end. So I think for me, it's definitely work-life balance, them being able to balance school, extracurricular activities, getting the amount of sleep, making sure they're eating, make sure they're meeting the deadlines with schoolwork and all of those things, because I keep them involved in things year-round. So I want them to know that, yes, when you grow up and you become an adult, you will have to work, but you have to prioritize things as well in your life. So letting them learn it while they're in the stage of learning, that's something like really big to me.
I like it.
Just like to piggyback off what he said, that coaching stuff, like with the sports and stuff, from my personal experience, I lost my father when I was 14. So I had someone with me, but my coaches taught me how to be a man. They was coaches, but discipline, like when mama working and stuff like that, I think even though that you have parents, you with the teachers and the coaches 8 hours a day. Yeah. And you got a good coach and a good teacher, they'll teach you the things that your parents would teach you if you had them all day long. Yeah. And my coaches, like I said, the coaches that cared and the teachers that cared, they taught you how to deal with situations outside of that. And then, like today, it's way different from back then. Certain things you can't tell a child today and get away with it. Right. When I was in school, and probably when you was in school and stuff, I couldn't say, well, my teacher told me this, and then go home and tell my mama that, right, or my grandmother, because the teacher was gonna do me something, and when I get home, my mama was gonna do me something. Right. So I think like the coaching part is a big thing too, because they teach men how to be men, and like with the girls, they teach them how to be ladies, what not to do, what not to expect, what not to take. Yeah. And so I think that's a big part of life too with that.
Just to piggyback off of the coaches, that's something that's very important to me because I play sports, so I get it. I definitely understand how that is an important aspect of, as far as school. But I want my son to learn life lessons. It's going to be failure. And when it comes, you need to know how to handle it. I'm a single mom, so I use those coaches as that father figure. Of course, that goes with me paying attention to who I have my son around, but it's hard for me. I don't know what to say sometimes. So yesterday, for instance, Coach, he was cutting up on the bus. I need you to handle that. That's important to me. Not today, he probably running mad, but oh well. So those life lessons are very important. So yeah, they going to school learning the basics, math, science, social studies, but I also want him to learn those life lessons.
And I think and we all said it, I think those life lessons, because even for me as a dad, I didn't mind my son's coaches getting on them. So, because I didn't want my children to think the only person in the world you got to listen to is me. No, you got to teach them how to respect authority. And I think that's another part of us as a village. All of us parents being involved and the teachers and the coaches all being on the same page. And now the kid knows I can't get away with it over there. I can't get away with it there. I can't get away with it over here because everybody's on the same page. And I think the consistency, and I can tell you, myself and Lady Iris, we've seen the fruit of it. You know, my oldest son just graduated from college, cum laude, just got his first job. My other son, we see the fruit thereof. And that's why I want to encourage parents. Start now. School just started. It does, and even and as you said it, single parents. I know a lot of moms who are single parents. It can still be done. Just because you're a single parent does not mean it cannot be done. Minister Brown?
All right, before we wrap it up, I just want to put a little bow on it.
You want to put a bow on it?
So we talked about taking care of the whole child, but we also must include Christ in it. My prayer is when I go to school, I want the child, if they don't see God, they see him in me. So I want to make sure I try to align myself with the word and make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So even though if they say you can't have Christ in school, as long as Eric is there, Christ is there.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I just want to make sure we include the whole child, making sure we are God-like and being a good example for those kids.
And it goes back, and you said it, it's biblical. The Bible says train up a child in the way that he or she should go. When they grow old, they won't depart. And that's in all aspects, education, their faith, and it's a lot of things, even when it comes to health. Like I tell them, we're going to wrap it up, with my sons, with Coach, they had to take a physical every year. And so we did it together. So at the same time they needed a physical, I took a physical. So I wanted my sons to even see me going to the doctor because I want my sons to understand how important their health is. All of those things is when you talk about the well-rounded child, because we as a black people sometimes have not done well with certain areas of our lives. But once again, somebody mentioned it earlier, that even as parents, we got to be vulnerable. I don't have it all together. I'm not perfect. This is this, and this is that. You got to be able to let your children know certain things so your children can understand that all of us are still in the process. Yes.
Just to add to what Pastor said, I know in the morning when Jordan and I pray on the way to school, part of our prayer is that others see Christ through me. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't mean that he has to walk around school with a Bible and preaching.
Right, there you go.
But just being nice to somebody. You see somebody getting bullied, you go over and talk to that person, or you take up for that person. There's been several instances when we saw kids that were less fortunate. Yeah. And my children have come home and gotten shoes. Wow. And say, Mom, I'm going to bring these shoes to school tomorrow. I know somebody that need them. So those are all Christ-like ways that our kids can display. They try to take Christ out of school, but if it's in us, it's in our homes, and we're bringing our kids to church, it's still going to shine. That light is going to shine throughout the school without them walking around with the Bible and without the 10 Commandments being posted on the wall like they're talking about now.
Minister Keisha Smith is in the building. Lord, Minister Keisha Smith is in the building. You preach on, you preach on. Well, listen, y'all, our time has been well spent. We hope and pray that y'all have been blessed and encouraged. Parents, teachers, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and of course our students. So we're going to do more of this down the road, have these panel discussions. Is there any closing remarks?
I was going to get him about 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
30 seconds, y'all closing remarks.
Parents, please make sure that you are present and that make sure that you are present and you set those expectations and hold your children accountable, and also hold yourself accountable for your children's education.
Simply, just above all, treat your kids with the most love that you possibly can.
Yes, sir.
Let them know that you have their back no matter what.
Yeah. Because we always say this, People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When children know their parents love them regardless, man, those kids' expectations, and I think they're produced because I know my parents got my back.
And as a man, I have a 20-year-old son, and daily I tell him how much I love him.
Yeah.
That's a daily conversation. As parents, your kids need to really know that.
Yes, sir.
And if they know that, you'll be amazed at how they will respond to it.
Yeah.
All right, and letting them know and teaching them that caring is a part of discipline too.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of parents, me, I'm one of them. Sometimes I hesitate on disciplining my child because I don't want them to feel that I don't love them.
Right, yeah.
And when you discipline them, make sure you think about the way you say it or what you discipline them on. But always make sure you let them know, look, I'm disciplining you because I care about you, not because I don't love you.
Yeah, yeah. If you had parents like mine, they said, this is going to hurt me more than it hurt you, and I never understood that. But now I understand, Yeah, Minister, I'm sorry. Yes.
I would just say to love on your kids, create that safe space for them, letting them know no matter what, you can always come to me, you can always come home. Good grades, bad grades, I'm still going to love you, and we're going to figure it out together and be involved.
And also just understanding that mama may fuss, but at the end of the day, I love you, and I fuss because I care. But I know we all said love, love, love. But parents also remember that in the morning, the first thing that you should do when they're walking out that car is letting them know, I love you, because you just never know.
Yeah.
I'm going to close the way I started, making sure that we co-parent with the teachers and parents co-parent. We want to make sure we put that united front on for the kids and let them know that they are loved at school and at home. I want to thank Pastor for having me host this event. Thank you for trusting me to put it together.
There you go.
Thank you to the panel. Now I'll turn it back over to Pastor Williams.
Hey, man, thank y'all so much. I want to, first of all, secondly, say thank to all the panelists. Thank y'all so much. I really believe this is helping people. And sometimes we don't realize the impact that words have. And so I want to thank y'all for being here and being transparent, being open, being vulnerable, and just being honest. And I really believe tonight has helped so many people. So I want to say thank you all for viewing and watching, being with us tonight. We look forward to seeing you this coming Sunday, 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. This coming Sunday. And, of course, we'll be back in Bible study next week at 6:30. May God bless you. May God keep you. This is our prayer. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. In Jesus' name.